Don't let a good mood be your only strategy for success. You see, moods are fleeting. They rise and they fall. One day you feel unstoppable. The next day, you don't even want to get out of bed. If your entire plan for success depends on feeling good, you're already on shaky ground. Here's the truth. The most successful people I've ever met didn't wait for the perfect mood. They didn't say, "I'll work on my goals when I feel inspired." They worked whether they felt like it or not. Because discipline is greater than emotion. Because habits are stronger than moods. And because success is not built on how you feel today. It's built on what you do every day. Now, don't get me wrong. A good mood is a blessing. It makes the work lighter. It puts a smile on your face. But if you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, you can't depend on sunny skies alone. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have principles. You've got to have a strategy that works even on the coldest, darkest days. Because here's the thing. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And today, we're going to talk about how to build a life that doesn't depend on moods, but on methods. Not on inspiration, but on intention. So, let's begin. Most people don't realize it, but they live their entire lives inside a trap. It's not made of metal. It's not made of ropes or chains. It's made of moods. Let me explain. Have you ever told yourself, "I'll start working on my goals when I feel motivated," or "I'll go to the gym when I feel like it," or "I'll make those calls when I'm in the right frame of mind"? If you have, congratulations, you've just described the trap. Because here's what happens. Moods are unpredictable. They are like the wind, shifting direction without warning. Some days, you wake up ready to conquer the world. Other days, you'd rather hide under the covers. And when your actions are tied to your moods, you become a slave to something you can't control. Here's the dangerous pattern most people fall into. 1. They feel good to. They take action. 2. They feel bad to. They do nothing. 3. They feel guilty for doing nothing to. They feel worse. 4. They wait for the next wave of motivation to. And the cycle repeats. It's like trying to row a boat only when the wind is in your favor, instead of picking up the oars and rowing anyway. The problem? Opportunities don't wait for your mood to improve. They pass you by. And every time you don't act because you don't feel like it, you strengthen the habit of hesitation. And hesitation is a dream killer. The trap is so easy to fall into because it feels reasonable. Think about it. Society often tells us, listen to your feelings and follow your heart. And sure, there's wisdom in that when it comes to relationships, passions, and values. But when it comes to discipline, feelings can't be your compass. If they are, you'll always drift off course. Why? Because discipline often feels uncomfortable. The work often feels hard, and your feelings will try to protect you from discomfort, even when that discomfort is exactly what you need to grow. It's easy to think, I'll do it later when I'm ready. But here's the reality. You will never feel ready for the hard things that will change your life. You don't feel ready to wake up at 5 a.m. You don't feel ready to make 50 sales calls. You don't feel ready to face rejection. If you wait for readiness, you'll wait forever. There's another danger to mood-based action. It creates the illusion of progress. When you're in a good mood and you take action, it feels productive. You pat yourself on the back. You feel accomplished. You think, I'm on the right track. But because your strategy depends on a mood, the moment your mood changes, your progress stalls. That's like planting seeds in your garden only on sunny days, then wondering why the crops never grow. Growth requires consistency, not occasional bursts of effort. Let me tell you a truth I've observed in my years of studying successful people. They don't care much about moods. They care about results. They work when they're inspired. They work when they're bored. They work when they're tired. Because they understand this action produces mood more often than mood produces action. In other words, you don't need to feel good to get started. But if you get started, you might just start feeling good. This is a massive mindset shift. Instead of waiting for inspiration, They use action to create it. So how do you break free from mood-based living? The first step is awareness. You have to notice when you're telling yourself, I'll do it when I feel like it. The second step is to make a new rule. Your actions are tied to your commitments, not your emotions. It's simple. If you said you'll do it, you do it, whether you're in the mood or not. The third step is to start small. Don't try to overhaul your life overnight. Pick one area, maybe your workouts, your morning routine, or a small daily habit, and commit to doing it regardless of mood. Every time you act in spite of your feelings, you weaken the trap. You build the muscle of discipline, and discipline is freedom. Moods are wonderful companions, but they are terrible leaders. If you let them drive, they will take you in circles. Your dreams deserve more than your moods can give. They deserve your consistency. They deserve your discipline. They deserve your action. Because in the end, the people who build extraordinary lives aren't the ones who feel like it the most often. They're the ones who show up, even when they don't. And that, my friend, is how you start breaking free from the trap of mood-based action. Let me tell you something important. It's the kind of idea that if you grab it, can change your life forever. Here it is. If you build your life around feelings, you will live a life of inconsistency. Feelings are like the weather. One day sunny, one day stormy, one day warm, one day cold. If you wait for the perfect mood before you take action, you will spend most of your life waiting. See, feelings are temporary. Standards are permanent. Most people live their lives this way. I'll go to the gym when I feel like it. I'll work hard when I feel motivated. I'll give my best effort when I'm in the mood. That's the trap, because moods are unreliable. They change with the smallest shift in circumstance. It's raining? Mood drops. Someone criticizes you? Mood drops. You feel a little tired? Mood drops. And here's the truth. When your actions depend on your mood, your life will be unpredictable, and so will your results. Now let's talk about standards. Standards are different. Standards don't ask how you feel today. Standards say, this is who I am. This is what I do every single day. When you have high standards, you don't ask, do I feel like it? You say, this is what I do because I decided to live this way. I remember learning this lesson the hard way. There was a time I thought success was about energy, about excitement, about being in the zone. But I started to notice the people I admired most didn't wait to feel good before they acted. They acted because they had committed to a standard of excellence, a standard of discipline, a standard of consistency. And that's when I realized discipline beats motivation every time. Think about an Olympic athlete. They don't wake up every day feeling like training. They wake up and train because that's the standard they've set for themselves. Think about a successful entrepreneur. They don't only work on the days they feel inspired. They show up no matter what. Because if you only do the work when you're in the mood, you'll never reach your potential. Here's something I often say. Don't set your sail based on the direction of the wind. Set it based on where you want to go. Your mood is the wind. Your standards are the sail. When the wind is strong, great, you move fast. When the wind is weak, your standards still keep you moving forward. Now, let's make it practical. How do you live by standards instead of feelings? 1. Decide your non-negotiables. These are the actions you take every day, no matter how you feel. Exercise, reading, working on your goals. Make them part of your identity. 2. Write them down. If it's not written, it's easy to forget. Put your standards where you can see them daily. 3. Measure yourself by effort, not emotion. Some days you'll feel amazing, some days you won't. But if you stick to the standard, you win. 4. Lower the decision making. If your standard is to go for a run every morning, you don't wake up and decide whether to run. You've already decided. You just do it. Here's the danger if you don't do this. Feelings can lead you away from the very life you want. You might feel like skipping the meeting. You might feel like avoiding that phone call. You might feel like eating junk food instead of something healthy. And each of those little moments of giving in to feeling overstandard, they add up. slowly, quietly, until one day you realize your life is nowhere near where you wanted it to be. The great news is you can change this. You can say today, from this day forward, I will live by my standards, not my moods. You'll still have feelings. You're human. But now your actions will be anchored to something stronger than emotion. They'll be anchored to your character. And here's the magic. When you live by high standards, your feelings often rise to meet your actions. You start to feel better after you start doing the work. Action fuels emotion, not the other way around. So remember, feelings are visitors. Standards are foundations. Build your life on a foundation that doesn't move with the weather. Because the truth is, successful people do what they need to do whether they feel like it or not. And that's why they win. Mood is a powerful thing. It colors your day, your decisions, your interactions. It can lift you up or drag you down. But mood uncontrolled and unchecked is dangerous. More dangerous than most people realize. Why? Because it's unpredictable and it can mislead you. Think about it for a moment. How often have you made important decisions based on how you felt in the moment? Maybe you felt discouraged, tired, or frustrated, and you quit something important. Or maybe you felt excited, hopeful, and confident, and you took action. But here's the catch. Moods change. They ebb and flow like the tide. They are not reliable guides. Yet, many people treat them as if they were. Moods are like the weather. Imagine planning a picnic. You check the forecast, and it says sunny all day. You pack your basket, invite your friends, and head out. But suddenly clouds gather and rain pours down. You could have been prepared with an umbrella or a backup plan. But if you planned everything around the weather being perfect, you're left disappointed. Your mood works the same way. If you plan your work, your goals, your life around feeling good or feeling inspired, you're planning for a day that might not come. Here's what happens when mood controls your actions. You become a passenger, not a driver. Your feelings steer you, and you lose control over your journey. That's dangerous because success requires consistent effort. It demands showing up. It asks you to do the work whether the mood is right or not. Let me share a story. There was a young man I knew, bright and full of dreams. He waited for the perfect moment to start his business. He waited for the right mood to begin writing his book. He waited for inspiration to hit before making those difficult calls. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And that perfect mood? It never came consistently. He was trapped in his feelings. And his dreams stayed just that, dreams. Now contrast that with people who have mastered the art of controlling their mood instead of letting it control them. They wake up and they decide to work. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait to feel like it. Because they understand that waiting for the right mood is a form of procrastination disguised as self-care. Moods can also be deceptive in another way. When you feel good, it's easy to think, I'm doing great. I don't need to push harder. That comfort can lull you into complacency. When you feel bad, it's easy to think, I'm not capable today. I'll try again tomorrow. That self-doubt can hold you back. In both cases, mood misleads you. It tricks you into acting against your best interest. The most dangerous part about mood is this. It gives you permission to stop. When your mood is low, it justifies quitting. When your mood is high, it justifies resting. But the truth is, life doesn't pause for your feelings. Opportunities don't wait for your confidence. Success doesn't knock only when you're happy. It knocks when you're ready to answer regardless of how you feel. So, what's the alternative? The alternative is to build habits and disciplines that don't depend on mood. To create a life governed by principles, not feelings. Because feelings are temporary. Principles are eternal. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. That discipline is what carries you through the days when your mood fails you. Discipline is showing up when you don't want to. Discipline is doing the hard work when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is pushing through the resistance. When you rely on mood, you're building your house on sand. When you rely on discipline, you're building it on rock. Storms will come. Waves will crash. But the house will stand. So remember, mood can be your friend, but it should never be your boss. You want to be the master of your emotions, not their servant. Take control of your day, not your mood. Take control of your life, not your feelings. Because success demands that you act beyond mood, that you work beyond mood, that you live beyond mood. But for now, let this truth settle in. Don't let mood be dangerous. Let it be a visitor, but not the driver. Let me ask you a simple question. What gets you out of bed every morning? Is it a great mood? A burst of inspiration? Or something deeper? If your answer is the first two, then you're relying on a shaky foundation. Because moods come and go like passing clouds. Inspiration visits like a guest, sometimes welcome, sometimes late. But habits are like the ground beneath your feet. They don't disappear when the sky darkens. They carry you forward, no matter the weather. I want to share a story. Years ago, when I was first starting out, I thought motivation would carry me through. I believed that if I just felt inspired enough, I could move mountains. But the truth hit me hard. Some days, I woke up tired. Some days, discouraged. Some days, full of doubt. Yet, the work still had to be done. I realized I needed something stronger than feelings, something I could rely on every single day. That something was habits. Habits are the building blocks of success. They are the routines that make life predictable and progress possible. But here's the secret. Not all habits are created equal. Some habits are mood dependent. You might say, I'll journal if I feel like it. Or, I'll exercise if I'm in the right mood. Those habits crumble at the first sign of discomfort. Mood-proof habits don't ask permission from your feelings. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They are automatic. They are like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes, things you do without thinking. The power of mood-proof habits is that they carry you through the hard days, the days when you don't feel like doing anything. They are the reliable engine of your success. How do you build mood-proof habits? 1. Start small. When I began my journey, I didn't try to change everything overnight. I started with one simple habit, reading 10 pages a day. 10 pages might seem small, but done daily, it adds up. Small habits are easier to do regardless of mood. 2. Anchor habits to your routine. Attach your new habit to something you already do. For example, after brushing your teeth, do your 10 pages of reading. This creates a trigger that reminds you to act. 3. Remove friction. Make it as easy as possible to start your habit. If you want to exercise in the morning, lay out your clothes the night before. If you want to write, keep your journal where you can see it. 4. Be consistent. Consistency is the key to habit formation. Do your habit every day, no matter how you feel. Even if you only do 2 pages instead of 10, keep the streak alive. I remember a friend of mine, a successful businessman, who shared his secret. He said, Jim, I don't wait to feel like working out. I just do it. Some days it's hard. Some days I'm exhausted. But the habit has become part of who I am. That's the power of mood-proof habits. Now, I'm not saying habits alone are magic. They need to be paired with purpose. Why are you building this habit? What is the goal behind the action? When you connect your habit to a strong why, it becomes easier to maintain. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Those simple disciplines, those small, daily habits, are what separate the average from the extraordinary. When you build mood-proof habits, your feelings start to follow your actions. You don't wait to feel motivated. You feel motivated because you're taking action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence builds success. So, what habit will you make mood-proof today? Will it be waking early? Writing down your goals? Making that call you've been avoiding? Choose one. Make it small. Make it automatic. And then, no matter how you feel, do it. Because your mood can be a friend, but your habits will be your foundation. Build habits that don't depend on mood. Build habits that carry you forward, day after day. And you'll build a life that no mood can destroy. There's a saying I hold close. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Think about that for a moment. Discipline is the bridge, not luck, not talent, not mood. Discipline. It's the quiet force, the unseen power, the daily choice to show up, Let me share a story. When I was young, I struggled with discipline. I thought success would come from big ideas, great plans, or sudden inspiration. I waited. I hoped. I dreamed. But the days slipped by. Months passed, and nothing changed. One day, a mentor said to me, "Jim, you can have results or excuses, but not both." That hit me hard. I realized I had been waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for the right mood. But the right mood is a rare visitor. It comes and goes. It can't be relied on. So I made a decision. I decided to build discipline, to make it my constant companion. Discipline doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on what you decide. Discipline is the power to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the choice to wake up early, to keep working late, to say no to distractions, to push through discomfort. I want you to picture something. Imagine your discipline as a trusted friend, not loud or flashy, not demanding or harsh, but steady, reliable, always there when you need it. This friend doesn't ask, "Are you in the mood today?" This friend simply shows up. This is the kind of discipline that builds empires, that creates masterpieces, that transforms lives. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful beyond measure. Now, how do you invite this companion into your life? First, start small. Discipline grows like a muscle. You don't bench press 200 pounds on day one. You start with what you can manage, then build from there. Make a commitment to one small daily action. Maybe it's reading 10 pages. Maybe it's a morning walk. Maybe it's writing down your goals. Whatever it is, commit to it every day. No exceptions. Second, understand that discipline and motivation are not enemies. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. The spark feels good. It lights the way. But without the fire, the spark dies quickly. Discipline keeps the fire burning long after motivation fades. Third, prepare for resistance. Resistance will come. There will be days when your body says no. When your mind tells you it's too hard. When the world seems to conspire against you. This is the moment discipline is tested. This is the moment you decide who you are. Remember this. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. Discipline is that fundamental. When discipline becomes your constant companion, you stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You take control. This shift changes everything. It turns obstacles into opportunities. It turns failures into lessons. It turns ordinary days into steps toward greatness. I'll be honest, discipline isn't always easy. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it demands sacrifice. But the price of discipline is nothing compared to the cost of regret. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Show up. Do the work. One day at a time. That's how discipline builds a life worth living. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Discipline is the habit of showing up no matter what. Make discipline your constant companion. And watch your life change in ways you never thought possible. If you take nothing else away from this message, remember this. Your mood will change. Your feelings will fluctuate. But discipline can carry you forward every day for the rest of your life. And that is the greatest strategy you will ever have. As we come to the close of this speech, I want you to pause and reflect. Think about your own life. How often have you waited? Waited for the right mood. Waited to feel inspired. Waited for the stars to align perfectly before taking action. Maybe today is one of those days. But here's what I want you to understand. Waiting is the enemy of progress. Waiting is the thief of dreams. And the truth is, your mood will change. It always does. Some mornings, you wake up on fire, ready to move mountains. Other days, you drag yourself through the hours, feeling heavy and tired. That's human. But if your success depends on how you feel in any given moment, then success will remain just out of reach. Now, I'm not saying your feelings don't matter. Of course they do. A joyful heart lightens the load. A positive attitude opens doors. But feelings are not the foundation. They are the paint on the walls, not the bricks in the foundation. If you build your life on feelings alone, you're building on sand. Instead, build on something stronger. Build on discipline. Build on standards. Build on habits that carry you through the storms and the sunshine alike. Build a strategy that does not depend on your moods. When you do this, something remarkable happens. You take control of your own life. You become the driver, not the passenger. You don't wait for life to happen to you, you make life happen. And that, my friend, is freedom. I want to remind you of a simple truth Jim Rohn taught me. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. When you make discipline your constant companion, you no longer ask, "Am I in the mood?" You simply show up. Showing up day after day is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what turns plans into results. It's what builds a life of meaning and achievement. So today, make a choice. Decide that from this moment forward, you will not let your mood be your only strategy. Decide that your feelings will not dictate your actions. Decide that discipline, habits, and standards will lead you forward. Because success is predictable. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's hard work, repeated consistently. It's the daily decision to act whether you feel like it or not. And when you make that decision, you start a journey of growth, a journey of progress, a journey toward the life you've always wanted. Remember, feelings come and go, but your actions define you. Choose to act, choose to build, choose to succeed no matter the mood. Thank you for listening. Thank you for committing to a higher standard. I believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay committed, and keep moving forward.